Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope everyone had a good holiday season. I know I had a great time with spending time with the family, seeing my brother over Skype since he's overseas, yeah, just having a nice, relaxing day. So for this video is kind of special just because this was the first time I visited a pond that I used to fish when I was little. I didn't fish it for, I want to say, almost like 4 years because when I fished it when I was younger, didn't catch a lot of big fish, and on top of that, just, I don't know, just didn't seem as special for whatever reason. I don't know why I didn't think that, but this was the first time I fished it in quite a few years, so we'll just jump in and go through the day. So I kind of wanted to just mention something real quick before I dive into the day. I apologize for the camera angles. I've been getting better at, working on doing better camera angles and whatnot for my videos. In this clip right here, you'll see my my camera falls from the fish moving my little aluminum boat around. And I apologize. I was a little disappointed also on how I showed some of the fish to the camera. So you'll see me having Snapchat videos actually after some of these clips, just because I just didn't get good angle or view of the fish. So I just wanted to apologize for that. But anyways, this pond I haven't fished in like 4 years. I grew up fishing here when I was little in elementary school, when I used to live over here. This is my uncle's pond that he lives on. So back in the day, I used to only catch bluegill, perch, and I did catch bass, but they weren't that big. If anything, the average was probably about 12 inches. The bigger end would be from like 15 inches to 18 inches. It wasn't anything super special or very like, oh, I need to go out there. So this day we were like, you know what, let's find a new place to fish, and let's just just try to figure something out since I haven't fished here in 4 years. And that first fish that I caught was about a 3.5 pounder. This fish that I have hooked up on here, like you kind of saw, if you saw, I wasn't even looking when he blew up on it because I was throwing a topwater spook. So I didn't even get to see the explosion. This was a 5.7 pound largemouth, and this thing, just the aftermath of the explosion on it was huge, and I'm disappointed I didn't get to see it because it sounded and looked like someone dropped a cannonball in the water, and I just missed the initial strike. This is one of the fish that I just did not get a good camera kind of view or angle on. So this is one of the Snapchat fish that I was mentioning. If you guys are actually interested, I could post my Snapchat on here, so if you guys want to see any fishing,
5-7 boys,
weird random posts that I do,
yeah,
just let me know, and I'll start sharing that possibly. Anyways, back to the video. A lot of these topwater fish, we saw a lot of bait kind of moving around, and I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to throw some kind of topwater, and hopefully, something will work. You'll see too, I'm kind of, especially in that first 5 pounder, and in the next one, I'm pretty stoked, to be honest. I didn't have a lot of expectations for this lake, like I mentioned before. The last time I fished it, all we caught were kind of smaller fish. Didn't catch any like size. Like, I would have been happy to catch something like this size, which was probably about a 2.5 pounder when I used to fish here when I was little. But I just didn't catch anything like that. This private pond is just weird because it's definitely a grind, but the thing is, there's size to it. This is probably some of the biggest bass in my area, easily. Like any pond or lake around here, this has probably some of the bigger bass that I've seen. So even though I only get 5 bites maybe a day, they're quality. I'd rather have that than a stereotypical private pond, which is nice, don't get me wrong. It's nice to just catch a ton of decent sized fish all day, and even some private ponds even around here, I know that there's huge fish in. But this is where I caught my PB out of. which that video I'll release later on. Like this year, this fish here is also another 5.6 pound largemouth. I caught 2 5s that day. If I want to say our total weight
5, 6
for today
boys.
from our best 5 was almost pushing maybe 20 pounds, because those 2 5s, that's about 11 pounds there. Then a 3.5, so that's 14.5. Another 3, 17. Another 2.5, about almost 20 pounds, if not 20. Those other smaller ones we didn't really scale. It was mainly those big ones. And I put this clip in here because I just wanted to show too that Senkos, they can also catch small fish. Like I always catch at least 1 or 2 sunfish when I'm out there, which is kind of annoying because when I don't get a lot of bites out there, whenever I get a bite, I'm like, oh dang, like this has, oh dang, it's on. And then when it happens to be that little guy, I'm like, oh shit, like, yeah, my hopes of catching something good when I go out there is just gone. This ended up being the last fish of the day. I want to say this guy was about, he was about maybe 2.5, maybe 3 pounds. I think we did weigh this one, but the thing is, I don't really remember the other ones we weighed besides the 2 5-pounders. But yeah, so this place is just totally different for a private pond. I try to take like family, friends out here, like you see in the background. 2 of my fishing buddies that you saw, actually, that were in those Horsetooth videos that I just posted. They came out, and we were just trying to figure something out. And this is now one of my places that I try to go a lot, especially even after work or something, just because it's a great body of water. I take my non-fishing friends out there. I take even my girlfriend out there. She's caught about a 3.5, 4-pounder out of there. Granted, it is a grind. There's days where I've gotten skunked out there, but it's one of my favorite ponds. Even though there's times where it gives me headaches, and I'm like, why is this technique not working? Like a chatterbait or this or that. So it's just always trying to figure something else out there, and yeah, just a fun, interesting lake. Okay, so to go over lures and techniques, I'll start off with what I caught my first fish on, and the majority of my fish on was a Senko, just a weightless Texas rig Senko. Pretty sure it was either this color or green pumpkin. This is watermelon red. Just something kind of natural. I mean, even if the watercolor is stained, which it might have been, I don't really remember. This year it was really stained, but that's always a good go-to bait. Regardless of where you fish, regardless of where you are in the country, the Senko is, it's going to flat out just catch fish. And sometimes it might not catch the biggest fish, but it'll catch at least the majority, or at least get you started. Like in the sense of if you're trying to figure out a bite or something, it'll at least get you started. The other fish came off of the Rapala Skitterwalk. I personally don't really care for this bait anymore, especially after using other walking baits. But that's not the exact color that I was using, but that's what I caught 2 of my other fish on, and especially the biggest one of the day, the 5.7. Those guys are just big. They're just big stripes, and it was just awesome. Like that's what I loved about it. Like both of them hit it so aggressive, and how I was working it was I wasn't working it super fast. I gave it pauses. Some like the second one that I caught on it, you could see I was trying to turn the motor, and he hit it when I was just trying to fiddle with the motor and kept it paused. So that's always something to consider when you're throwing a walking bait, is to pause it every once in a while. Sometimes you can just get away with a straight retrieve, just real quick and whatnot. If I could change anything from that day, I would have probably thrown something at least a little bigger, or something that had a better walk to it. Or even, honestly, dang it, I hooked myself. Even a hollow body frog, like this live target one here, I think having either a bigger profile or having like a frog like that would have been perfect for what I was trying to do. But yeah, and with the Senko, I was kind of working it quick, but I'd let it sit there. If anything, I I would let it sit for a little bit and pop it so it moved a distance instead of dragging it, and then let it sit, because I felt like there, and it kind of showed there as well, I just had to cover water. So but they did want it to sit a bit. They weren't really wanting to like hit it as soon as it was moving. So a lot of the times, a lot of those bites I just reeled down to, or I saw the line move. So with the Senko, you can do so much. I mean, for those of you that's never fished a Senko, fish it. Like, it's an easy bait, and they're just so effective for what they can do. And you can fish it so many different ways. You can almost fish it almost like a fluke if you really tried hard enough. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope that helped, entertained you, and just overall, you took something away from this video. So hopefully you'll like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, and yeah, I hope everyone had a good holiday season. And oh yeah, forgot I took this guy off. And yeah, stay warm, everyone.